Part 3 was like my favorite one because they were at a mental institution. I forgot how to cry, but I wanted to cry. I was like trying to how do I cry? I want you to remember how to cry. Come on, cry. Like starts devouring his heart because remember the heart started pulsating. And it made him. Okay, y'all, welcome to another episode of Bridging the Gap. Bridging the Gap? Bridging the Gap. Bridging the Gap with Bill, Shy, Scooby, and Mac. And this, I forgot what episode number it is.
I want to say it's 33.
33. All right. Well, that would be apropos because we're going to talk about horror movies. But before we get into that,
make sure y'all get tuned in and tapped into all the social medias. I'm at Scooby the Kid 252, at Chef Mac 1523, at Osho Shy 11, at Bill_Perry, and at Bridge the Gap 77. We got some great things coming. Get tuned in and tapped in, or kick rockers open toe shoes.
How are we all doing this week?
Oh, I'm doing great. This last week, especially with my birthday and the past week, it's just been a blur. Everything is just been going good, so I'm happy about that.
Oh, yes, me too. I mean, I know I look probably tired, and y'all like, damn, look at Bill, man. Well, you are looking at the product of a man who just finished his movie. They Found Me Vengeance with everybody
and that's
here.
One of the parts of my blurs.
Yes. I have engulfed everybody's life here, and I released everyone because they needed air away from me. So, anyway, it's finished now, and I'm not going to get into more details until further notice. But yes, that's where I am. So I'm feeling elated.
I've been doing real good making music. I'm getting really, really good at producing, and it's fun, you know what I'm saying? I'm enjoying the process. I'm enjoying the journey. Got a new job, I'm listening to audiobooks, growing, you know what I'm saying? Becoming a man.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm doing good too. As he said, I've been helping him with his movie, and for the past month and a half, I've been annoyed because I couldn't get a haircut, and he said, we're done. I went straight to the barbershop, got my haircut.
Should look a little bit uneven.
I just peeped that out. I just peeped that out on the side. That's what's up.
But let's get into the episode.
Horror movies.
This is part 3 to something we've done.
Yes, we've talked about horror movies quite a bit. We've even entangled it in other titles and stuff. And
this is something we grew up
with. I mean,
it was a part of our lives.
Yes, Shy. I think the first genre that I got into was horror, funny enough, with the early Friday the 13th and stuff like that, and Freddy Krueger with Nightmare on Elm Street, Alien, and there's just so many titles to mention. I'm sure we'll probably touch on all these as we go along, but it was the first genre that we really liked. It was so funny because we were kids. We were not at the age we were supposed to be watching, horror movies. I guess that's everybody's story.
Oh, yeah. I remember watching the first Friday the 13th, and I was like 7.
Right, exactly. As a matter of fact, the one that hooked me, I didn't actually see it from the very first one. It came out in the late 70s, but the third one came out in the early 80s, and it was in 3D. So the first time I saw Friday the 13th was with Jason at the end coming at you in 3D. I was hooked. Come on, man. This dude's hands was coming out of the screen, and I'm like, yeah, he wants to kill me. I love him. Jason Voorhees is my favorite killer because of that.
One of my favorite, well, not favorite scenes, but I always remember in one of the Friday the 13th, the dude, he falls off of a barn, and when he's hanging there, his eye pops out, and it's clearly a fake body, and you can see the spring coming out of his eye.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, you talking about the same one, actually. It was Cabins, and what happened was he was choking behind a cabin, Jason, and then he smashes his head, I believe. Is that the one you're talking about?
Nah, he's like a second story, you know what I'm saying? And he
Jason was hanging from the second story.
No, one of the people that got killed was hanging.
Because I was thinking when the guy got his head smashed and the eyes came out, but no, okay.
I think it was accidental, but I remember that,
You caught that.
Yeah,
wait a minute.
And if y'all know anything about me, you know what I'm saying, the audience, I do not catch shit like that. I'm a very literal guy, so to see that type of shit, I was like,
that's funny.
Oh man, I lost my question. Oh, but that kind of raises a question: is what is your favorite type of horror movie? Is it the psychological horror, the horror that gets you to jump, or the supernatural horror, like ghosts and stuff?
It depends on the movie because, say with Blair Witch, you know, that's a good kind of like, you know, ghosty, witchy kind of film kind of thing, and it's more about the build up. Like that whole
Yeah.
movie is about the build up, and then when everything happens, it's just like, oh, and it's all like shadowy with that particular film, and a lot of films have taken that motif, but and then you got like, you know, Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where, you know, it is more psychological, and it's the little things he does. I mean, he does atrocious things in the film to play out. I remember one of the scariest scenes, I saw it in the theater, when Clarice goes back to the thing, and then he caresses her finger. Oh man, everybody jumped with that. Just little things like that. But then there's Jason in there. You know, the slasher flicks. You know, they just straight cut you up.
I
And
like all of them. The Ghost, that's probably my least favorite, but if you see a good Stephen King horror,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, he can really
yeah.
bring it.
Well, Stephen King. I mean, The Shining.
Oh,
You know, oh. Well, this ain't him, but I'm going to bring it to somewhere because I know it does psychological damage to this individual. Poltergeist.
oh.
Ha ha! This
I
it has
guess
done
I'm starting
something
to
to
take
Scooby's
that back.
mind, y'all. This man is literally scared of this movie. We're gonna get past that though. I'm gonna sit him down, tie him up, and we'll force
Force him
him
to watch
to
the
watch
movie.
this movie all the way through. I will say that that movie is one of those movies that, you know, it's Steven Spielberg, but it messes with your mind.
Yeah.
Like it really makes you question the paranormal. Like, oh, well, maybe that's what that was when I saw that thing in the peripheral. Like, it makes you question those things. Me and Shai used to always laugh at the scene where the guy starts tearing his face apart. He looks in the mirror and he sees his scar and just starts just clawing at it. And
But you remember right before that, the chicken?
oh, yeah, he was eating some chicken and dropped it, and then he puts the flashlight on it, and yeah, it had maggots all over it. And that's what made him go to the bathroom. That's what ended up going to that. But then the light gets brighter, and the poltergeist starts messing with him. And for me personally, and probably a lot of Americans, it was the first time I heard that term. Like I didn't know about poltergeist.
Yeah.
I knew of ghost spirits, but poltergeist, I didn't know what the difference was. I think it was explained in the movie that
And for-
poltergeists are associated with hauntings.
Poltergeists are things that haunt like electronical stuff. At
Yeah.
least from what I have looked into the world.
No, I think you're right, because you remember in the movie,
Because it's all about the TV.
you remember how it was affecting all the like the physical objects. It wasn't until the end that you know everything. You kind of saw them, and even then, like that moment down the steps, you remember they were like orbs.
Yeah.
But then they played it back through the camera, and it was like these bodies that were the orbs were the center of the spirits. You know, and but you know it's poltergeist is not scary as it is. Chilling. You know, mean like you know, like make the hair stand on your back kind of thing. You know, it doesn't go you're not like this in a corner, at least not for me. But you know,
See,
But I was jumping. Like I remember, it was just like this one scene when it was raining, and the fucking girl just pops up out of nowhere, bro, and I just fucking lost it. Like, I
what
can't
about the
even-
tree scene with the kid sleeping in the bed and then the clown and all that?
I barely remember that. I was so young. I watched it once and never again. So like it's hard to remember.
but see,
I ain't gonna lie, fuck that shit. Like
the thing that happened after we first watched that movie is one of the big reasons why we don't like that movie. Like, it's a good movie. I watched it recently. I've come over my fear, unlike him. But so my dad's he's cooking dinner, and we're watching this scary movie, you know, family like movie night kind of thing. And we get to the end of the movie, the credits roll, the screen goes black, our power gets shut off.
transform.
You know what you told me
Transformer,
that?
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, see that does something extra to the experience.
It's the same like we was watching The Ring,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And then the next day, my
My
mom.
nose starts bleeding. 'Cause
Bleeding.
that's one of the big. Not even the next day. We left outside to go jump on the trampoline,
that
and my
shit
nose
was
starts
Oh, dude, whoa.
bleeding. Yeah.
We never had anything that happened that was connected to scary movies. We were just like, we was morbidly curious about the macabre. Like we liked watching dark movies. We sought them out. I mean, that's why I watched Friday the 13th to the end. Even the crazy ones. Even y'all, I watched Part 8. For those of you that know about Friday the 13th Part 8, guess
grow
what?
up with
I have
something-
that. That's how sad I am.
Yeah, to grow up with something like Jason, it's very tame to watch. Poltergeist and
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, it's
And-
just a
and-
sweet, scary movie. I love it.
And see, those
It
are
has
tame
scary-
now. Because
Oh.
like Scream, the very
Scream
first.
wasn't scary to me.
But you know, the very first scene with old girl right on the phone, you know, I forgot what her name, Drew Barrymore
It had
played
some
her.
parts that made me.
But
jump,
what he does to her boyfriend,
Right.
that was what got me.
Savage.
It was like, it wasn't the call and the
gory.
voice, but that's gore. I was leading to
Yeah.
that. Like Thousand corpses, or what is it, Room of 1,000 Corpses, or Rob Zombie or somebody
yeah.
like that, where it's just
I
blood
love
filled.
that one.
It ain't so much that it's scaring
That's
you; it's
one of
just
my
like
favorites.
blood, 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 slash, blood, blood,
And
like
Saw.
yeah, Saw
Or Hostile.
or Hostile, that kind of stuff,
Oh,
where it's more
yeah.
you're just in your seat like
Yeah,
this the
yeah,
whole
you
time,
can't
like,
really look.
and that, it doesn't scare me as it does make me have pity.
And see,
My
Saw,
God.
Saw is another interesting scary movie story for us, is because our dad took us to see them in the movies. I
Oh,
was 4 when the first Saw came out, and I'm sitting in the movie theater watching this guy cut his leg off, and it's like, oh wow.
that man was wanting to escape.
I remember Children of the Corn.
Yes, but that was one of those movies that didn't really do it for me, and I saw it a little later. So
Yeah, we saw it a lot later.
yeah, stuff that really like held on to me when I was younger was like The Shining, Aliens. As far as getting outside of the slasher flicks, that was scary. You know. I'm kind of stumped right now. Yeah, I said Silence of the Lambs, but that came like in the early. I think it came right out in 1990, 91.
I noticed.
We didn't.
I was about to say y'all don't missing Friday the third or Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street. Shy. I think Freddy Krueger. You favor him more, right?
Part 1 and 3. But he started to get a little corny. Jason didn't really get corny until a lot later.
Yeah, and it wasn't Jason the character. He still emoted the same way, just no talking guy
Yeah,
like Michael
yeah.
Myers. But where they
Everything
took
became
him,
so
like the one where he
predictable.
goes to hell, but
Jason goes, that was such a stupid.
and like
movie.
it starts off,
And then he
with
goes to
the
space.
coroner like starts devouring his heart. Because you remember the heart start pulsating, wom, 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 and it made him like eat it. That I forget what that brother's name is. He's been in a lot of movies. He just started munching away, man, on Jason's heart, and then like spits up blood and this and that and that and the other. But then
What
he was
about-
imbued with Jason's spirit.
What about Freddy versus Jason, or Jason versus Freddy, whichever one?
Now I love that
I like
because see,
that.
from my generation leading up to that was always the talk in the hallways, as it were, in school.
Yeah.
Oh, Jason will do this. Oh, Freddy, Jason. I don't know why Michael Myers wasn't really in that combo at the time. I mean, he's made a comeback in some ways. In some people's eyes, he surpassed him, but not to me. But yeah, not to me. Hell no.
He killed his family.
I mean, the dude was after his sister. Come on.
Yeah.
Jason was a mama boy gone bad. Freddy Krueger killing kids. But he did. He equaled it out. He killed everyone. He killed everyone.
but I think
But
he
the killing the
molested
kids.
kids.
Well, they did that later. They bastardized Freddy with that. He didn't molest kids in the original series.
sure
He
did.
killed them. That
He
doesn't
just straight
excuse
killed
killing
them.
kids. But he didn't touch on them. You know what I'm saying? They messed with him a little bit.
And then in your dreams, of all places, to get haunted, it's like you can't even go to sleep.
Where you
now.
going? Where you gonna go?
One scene about Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't remember which one it is, and it might be Freddy versus Jason. That always stands out to me is this girl. She's like sleeping in her, like she falls asleep sitting up, and she's in like a doctor's office, like school doctor. And Freddy puts his stuff up his nose and cuts her nose off.
Oh, I remember that. I forget what one it was, but
that
my
when they were
favorite
in the
one from the
mental
series, well, I was going to say part 3, was like my favorite one because they were in that that mental institution. It was the Elm Street kids. They were the kids of the parents that did all that stuff. Well, they were the last of the kids or something in that movie. But that one had a lot of great ones because everyone was like channeling their powers. They were like learning how to hone their dream powers. I think that's the one that had the guy that was in a wheelchair, but in the world he was a
yeah.
wizard.
That's right.
And then the girl, I think she was like, really badass or something. With,
Yeah,
she
she used
was,
drugs,
yes.
but she was-
And then Freddie got her with the heroin stuff. Oh, what a rush! And it had all his fingers like looking like,
Needles.
needles and stuff, and then injected her.
They
I don't.
had the deaf guy, and they had the strong
Oh
black
yeah,
guy.
he put that thing on there. Yeah, and he was
Yeah.
hearing everything super loud, like a water would drop, and it'd be like a bomb.
Yeah.
But the one I was thinking about was the girl that he turned into a roach. You remember, like,
Are you
her
reading
arms
my
came
mind?
out, and then eventually she was in a roach motel.
Yeah. Oh, I
And
was
you remember the
gonna
old
say
commercial?
that.
You can check in, but you
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
check
yeah.
out. And then he like smashes the roach
Yeah,
motel.
that's
And,
a good one.
oh yeah, that
I mean,
was a
it was
classic one.
creepy, but it was very memorable.
Now,
you have to grow up with it. You guys are probably like Roach Motel.
But look,
to-
these scenes were memorable. Like, Welcome to Primetime, bitch. That meant a lot in our time. He puts the girl through the TV. But I will say now, because it was Dream, yeah. Like, there was this girl that wanted to be an actress and stuff like
But
that.
she was mental.
But she was mental.
Yeah.
And so there's a scene where she's in the rec room and she's watching TV. and Freddy's doing something with the TV, makes her get closer, and then his arms come out the side of it, and he grabs her by the shoulders, and he picks her up, and he's like, "Welcome to prime time, bitch." And then shoves her head through the TV and stuff, and then when they come in there, her head is through, like it looked like she committed suicide in the weirdest way, And that was the thing. They thought these kids were committing suicide, but Freddy was killing them in their dreams.
Yeah. Oh, Billy, the guy.
The puppet. Yeah, there was this guy that was a puppeteer. So in the dream world, of course, Freddy turned him into a puppet. Yeah. I think he was actually the first death because they were all screaming out the window. Freddy had him dangling, and he had his arms like that, but they didn't realize he was puppeteering him, Freddy, in the dream world. And then he sliced the strings and made the guy fall.
But see, he was in
yeah,
the dream
Freddy had.
world.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, he was in the dream world, but he did some things where it would intermingle.
Into the real world.
Yeah, because you remember he walked through that wall?
Yeah, he could walk through the dimensions and stuff. I think it was like the more
No,
power
I'm
they
talking
could.
about the kid with the...
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
The kid walked through the wall when he was, yeah, that's right, Sean. I forgot about that because he was sleepwalking through the hallway and then he just went through the wall. Yeah, that was weird too.
Because that's how he got out of his room. They had
See,
him locked down.
Because it was a dream sequence, I think Freddy, I have to even say this even as a Jason fan, because he could do all that, probably has better death scenes. Because, now Jason, he'll smash your skull, he'll crush you and, and then slice your throat and smash
more
you.
realistic.
Yeah, but he can't
The
alter
bed scene
reality.
where the girl gets sucked into the bed.
Is that the one with the blood comes shooting
Yeah.
out and all that and stuff? Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Because they
that's-
thought Johnny Depp killed her, his character and stuff. I think that was like one of his first major roles. And Kevin Bacon was in Friday the 13th Part 1.
right,
Like,
yeah.
Oh
How
God,
did he die?
I just had, huh?
How did he die?
The mother was killing in Part 1, and he was about to smoke a joint. He was on a hammock, but it was indoors, and he lays back. Of course, back then they had the gratuitous sex and stuff. Yeah, I just got down, but at any rate, he goes to smoke. She grabs his forehead like that, and all of a sudden a knife comes
Oh,
out.
that's right.
The death of Kevin Bacon, indeed. But no, I was thinking of one with Jason. Shaw, we used to actually laugh at this death scene. I think it was Part 6, and it was the cop. He had the girl that kept
was it
flirting with that
boxing?
boy. No, he kept flirting with that boy. It was Tommy growing up. It was the one we didn't really like because Tommy had stabbed Jason with that pole, and then
right.
lightning struck it, and Jason came back to life. And that was the premise of that. That was how simple we were in the 80s, y'all. That's all the crowd needed back then.
Yeah,
now
it
shit got
was
to really be,
very simple.
how the hell? Nah, just give us lightning and Frankenstein type shit. Oh, yeah, we'll be at the theater.
Lying around the block.
Lying around the block. But, there was a cop that was in the movie, and his daughter kept flirting with
That's
Tommy.
right, yeah.
And so, anyway, there was this one scene where he was chasing Jason through the jungle. No, he was looking for Jason through the jungle. And Jason just grabbed his ass and, say this is dude, Jason peeled his ass back like this.
Jesus.
And then, because Jason backed up or something. He was like, motherfucker looked like a turtle.
It was horrible.
Oh, y'all are like, man, them two are morbid as hell. They laughing at this man's demise.
Generation X.
Oh man,
Generation
but it was atrocious. I mean, this man would peel back.
Oh, okay. Another thing about horror movies, the women were always the ones that
took it. Yes.
It's like everyone, the women.
You know why though?
What?
And I'm just postulating. There's a lot of directors out there. No, you don't know what. I'm gonna personally say I think it was a way of making it seem like.
Even now, Scream.
Yeah, but I think it was a way of making it seem like the killer was gonna get over on the woman kind of thing. Like, if there was a man at the end, the guy, he'll probably just get a gun or blah blah. But see, if you have a demure woman, and she's screaming about. This is my mind, and I could be exhibiting some sort of chauvinism by saying, but I'm trying to get in the mind of. I don't think that's I'm just thinking that because it was played out so much, and the women that were usually at the end were all frantic. My favorite one was the end of Part 3, where it was the only one that the girl that saved the day or whatever have you went crazy. You remember they put her in the back of the cop car? She, I mean, that girl went, and I was like, that's the realest one. Because after a whole night of slaughter, you go to an event, you got like 10 friends. Y'all all out there getting high, everybody's doing this, having a great time. And then Jason kills them all and you're left. You're going to go
These are like
crazy.
your best friends.
Y'all your best friends. And Jason, be gone and stuff. But like that girl went crazy at the end of that one. But you know, the slasher thing, I think, kind of got a little played out after a while. Because, you know, I mean, what kind of horror movies are out there now for y'all?
Okay, wait. Oh, I have to mention one.
What?
Texas Chainsaw. Man.
Oh, Texas Chainsaw
Yeah, I
Massacre.
know
Yes, which
that.
was based on a true story back, I think, in the late 60s, early 70s. And when they made the remake of that, I think they had an image of the guy. I forget what his name is. It was like supposed to be like actual footage or something like this. You know, I don't know if it is or not. But that was just a maniacal guy. You know, he came from like a crazy family and all this kind of stuff. You know, that was like that, you know, deliverance type stuff. You know, like watch out for them crazy people that live in the mountains type people, you know what I'm saying? Squeal like a pig. You know what I'm saying? If y'all know the movie, that line is very disturbing when it happens. Y'all know about that line and what happens?
I know.
I don't know. The guy's getting raped. And as he's raping the guy, he tells him to squeal like a pig.
It is it's a long scene.
It's a long rape.
Is that why they do that in Pulp Fiction?
Well, I mean yeah, with Ving Rhames, but not
That is so rare,
even the
yeah.
Ving Rhames thing, like that was short. Like
That was fucked up.
they really played this scene out.
Yeah.
And consider that situation: a racist is raping a black man. That is, I'm talking, boffing about his malehood. That's why you see how they wrote, what happens to that guy. You can imagine. I love how he left it up to our imagination. Because you could just like, we're going to get medieval, like blow torches, pliers, like that guy died slow. If they even killed him, it would be worse to leave someone alive just after torture, which is like, well, Saw actually, no, those devices would kill you. They wouldn't torture. Well, it would torture you, but you had a time limit to get out of it or
Unless
something.
you got out, you were dead.
Because I think the very first one where I think if the girl wouldn't have got out the thing would have clammed and crushed her face and type shit.
Oh, no, that's the.
Or
It would have opened her jaw.
okay, but it would have folded her
like
back
that,
like
yeah.
that. And she had just gotten out just in time because I think as soon as she threw it out, the thing snapped.
Yeah.
Right as she threw that. Isn't that the one that they used her to be his assistant later?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think it's that same girl.
I don't know if you know, but she was in The Blob.
Oh, that's right, Shy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot, yeah. But, I just thought about, I think it was the follow-up, where wasn't she the one that Cholo-like guy threw her in that bed of hypodermic needles? That
Oh,
scene
that's
used to
right.
mess
I
with
hate that.
me.
That was bad.
God. And they played it out for a minute, too. I think
Yeah,
it was
'cause
like in
she
that
had to
movie
look.
7 where the guy had to, they showed it as a retrospect, but they were showing you
He had
what
to
was
crawl
going on.
through
He had to
the
crawl through the
barbed
barbed wire.
wire, yeah.
I think that was the glutton guy or some or another.
That was the first one. That was the very first
Yeah, he was
movie.
the first one, but it was the 7 deadly sins, and I forgot what his sin was. But he had to crawl through barbed wire because when they got there, he was just all cut the hell all up.
That's-
He killed himself inevitably.
Yeah.
I think that's the difference. That to me is gory. It gives me chills. I don't know if that's scary. It's scary if you think about it happening to you.
It's
but
disturbing.
It's disturbing.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
was
that
scary.
line.
That was scary.
Morgan Freeman. Come on, man. What's in the box? He knew what. See, you know what's disturbing about it? He knew.
Yeah.
He needed he needed it to be verbalized because he knew. And what was his sin? Wrath.
Right.
The very last one that hadn't been done yet, and it was wrath. And dude wanted it. Kevin Spacey played that character. I know with the Hollywood and all that,
Oh,
the
it
Me
was a
Too.
great movie.
Usual
But that
Suspects,
guy,
right?
yeah, he's usual suspects. Kaiser Sose.
Oh yeah.
And he walks out with that lip and then straightens up, and then they start playing that whole story back. Even the little, because he even saw something in the coffee cup. What was the name? Kobasi?
Kobayashi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, how high ranked that guy was, and he saw the name in a coffee cup.
Everything around.
That was
him.
I think that was what he dropped because he saw that name and the detective dropped that, and then he looked on the wall, started extrapolating dude's story, how he created it. He was looking at the wall, and then there was this guy, and he was just like, this guy. It was the greatest play on a cop in movie history. I've never seen a movie where a cop got played like that.
Besides
'Cause-
Marty Blake, I don't know.
Oh, man, Marty Blake didn't get played. Oh, man, you wait till you see Marty Blake, man. We got to talk about my movie here for a second, y'all. Oh, he's fantastic. The both of y'all, Riley too. Oh, man, I made everybody shine. Vera, I'm scared of Vera, man.
I'm definitely scared
Y'all
of
just
Vera.
don't know. Oh, my God. I forgot how to cry, but I wanted to cry. I was like trying to force myself. How do I cry? Remember how to cry. Come on, cry. You're supposed to cry right now. I really wanted to cry. It's that great. Anyway, I'm talking about my movie. Let's bring it back to the horror movies and
So
stuff.
I gotta talk about one of my like irrational fears: dolls and Chucky and Annabelle.
Oh, Chucky. I haven't
Really,
seen
y'all?
Annabelle.
You know,
I hate
those are the ones that I'm like, I wouldn't be like if Chucky
It's
ran
not
his little
scary,
ass
but I
over here,
like
I would kick the
I would kick
shit
the
out of
shit
him.
But I'm not.
It would be terrifying. Though.
I'm not gonna sleep in a room with a foot like a real doll. Like
A clown staring at you like in
nah,
Poltergeist.
Yeah.
fuck that. That clown is getting thrown out the window.
I'm not ain't fucking with it. You know, I have to say, I get that though, because I think what's scary about it is the disingenuousness of it.
Yeah.
You know that clown is not that happy.
Yeah.
And that's what is disturbing about it. It's like I'm not that happy. So how can you, in terms of like just this,
Perpetual.
yeah, and then have face paint, to have the
Yeah.
audacity to have face paint. I mean, when you're scared, that looks like war paint. Like that poor kid in Poltergeist. And that kid, that clown was literally right in front of his
Right,
bed
staring at
on a
him.
nightly basis with these long arms. Because you remember it was the arms that got him
Yeah.
and choked him around. But I love when the kid finally starts getting him. I hate you. He was pulling all the like stuffing out of him. He was killing that damn toy, man.
I love that little girl.
That Hulk,
I
you know
love
that
her.
scene where they first go to the room and they're all describing these little events. Dude said it took 7 hours for something to move like 10 feet. And he's like, uh-huh. And he opens up the door and there's all them things. Well, you remember some toys. And there was one thing where there was a Hulk on the horse or something. I had that Hulk shot, if you remember when we were kids.
do
I used to
remember
love seeing
that.
that scene because they started like, I had that Hulk, I had that Hulk. I had that very Hulk, yo.
Have y'all ever seen the movie? It's called, I want to say Mirrors. Could be wrong about it. But essentially, it's this guy that works in this asylum or old building and whatnot. But when he sees himself in the mirror, or if anyone sees himself in the mirror, they're like the mirror kills them.
Oh, whoa, no, I'm not hip to this.
Yeah, that shit had me terrified as a kid. Like I was scared to look in the mirror.
Oh, man, wait.
Remember, did y'all ever have the myth about Bloody Mary?
Bloody
Oh,
Mary.
man, are you reading my mind? I sure was
God,
man.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know how many times y'all did it. We said it 10 times is what we did. Some say
I
5.
think it was always 3.
Yeah,
At least for
some
me,
said
it's
it
always
3. But now it
I
was
was
2 different
different.
ways, right? One of my like when we lived in Hollywood, I remember we did that. And the thing you had to do at that time was it had to be like lukewarm water. You dipped your head in the water, came out and said Bloody Mary maybe 3 to 5 times. But then later on, it progressed to like 10 times. And you'd have to do the whole dunking thing. You just said Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. And you said it in the mirror. And kids come running out of there. I saw her. You know, say I'm gonna go in
I
there and
remember
stuff
we
like
did it
that.
at Brian and Sheila's house, and everybody went in but me. I couldn't go in. And next thing I know, they all ran out screaming.
Yeah, we swore we saw her. We saw the window to her house. It wasn't her, but we saw the house. It was weird. We didn't see
weird.
nothing.
Y'all
We didn't see
brave
nothing.
though. It's like
I used to do that. We had a trailer, and
fuck that.
I lived in the room right next to the bathroom. And one night, I was like, I gotta see if this is real. So I got it all set up. You had to do the bowl of water.
Oh, so the water was? Okay,
And then you
okay.
had to look in the mirror, shut the lights off, spin.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about shutting the lights
You had
off.
to spin and
Oh,
say
yeah,
Bloody
yeah.
Mary 3 times. I turned the lights on, and I was just like, that's disappointing. And I walked in my bed.
Oh, man. And what's the other thing? Y'all remember Ouija boards?
Man, see,
Nah, we never fucked with a Ouija.
Okay, now when I was in college at Northwest, I remember there was a moment where I walked. It was actually at night, and there was about 5 or 6 kids all messing with Ouija boards in their dorm, and I happened to walk past and they had the door open, so they called me in. Hey man, check this out, man. And I looked, and I was like, oh no. They're like, come on, man. I'm like, And so, at any rate, I only knew 2 people in there. The guy that was holding the little triangle thing, I didn't know him. I didn't know him at all. Asked the guy, who just entered the room? B. I. When it got to the first L, I'm like, yo, I'm leaving. Bye. I'm serious. That dude did not know me. And he was straight up about to spell my name. I'm like,
yo,
Our grandma
Whoa.
had a strict rule. She said if you ever touch the Ouija board, you're disowning.
yeah,
it.
she told
guess what? It's made by Parker Brothers, though.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I'm saying?
Board games for
It's
kids.
yeah.
our grandma told us not to fuck with none of that shit. That's why I won't never do that Bloody Mary shit, because it's like, my lucky, I'm gonna fuck around and summon that bitch, you know what I mean? Like,
Open up them dimensions.
oh God, fuck that. and it's just kind of like she used to tell us the same thing about like demons would come out of the VCR when we watched.
Oh yeah, I
movies.
remember you talking about that.
Like going back to Children of the Corn, why I mentioned it earlier. I was so scared of Children of the Corn that I had to watch Field of Dreams to like get over my fear. But we lived like that.
Yeah, our backyard was a cornfield.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
Well, I can see that. Okay.
And our dad would scare the shit out of us. You know what I'm saying?
We'd get off the bus and he'd be home and he'd be waiting in the cornfield. for us.
Yo, one time I just bought this brand new M16 airsoft
Airsoft
rifle.
gun, fully auto.
And for some reason, my dad's home. He's never home when I get off of the school bus. But
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
there. He opens up the fucking front door and just starts shooting my ass. And
At
pop,
both
pop,
of
pop,
us.
pop, pop. Yeah, with the machine. That shit fully auto. He just hit my ass. I had marks all over me. Man, like was y'all's dad like if you got like one time I remember we got a helicopter, and then I know this is off scary movies, but and he for Christmas he took it outside and flew it and broke it. We ain't never get to play with that shit.
No, I mean my dad went by playing with stuff of ours, but no, he never like usurped it.
That shit had me mad. I was salty as hell.
What about a scary movie called Jeepers Creepers? Did y'all ever watch that?
Oh yes, I actually have 1 and 2 of that with that
Yeah,
bat-like dude.
that's
He
our
would
grandma
feast
would
every
always-
10 years or something.
We'd be so we'd meet our grandma halfway, so to give on the weekends, and like we'd be driving, and this was at a time where we both had to sit in the back seat still. We'd be driving down the road, and then she'd start saying "Jeepers," like in the front
Oh,
seat. It'd be dark.
no.
We're freaking out in the back seat.
Oh no,
Scared the shit
no.
out of us as kids, bro. Like terrified, you know.
But see, that's why y'all all messed up. And y'all had Gen Xers for parents, so see how we do, man. That's just messed up. Oh, yeah.
I think that shit funny as hell, too. You know what I'm saying?
And then you growing up traumatic.
Terrified,
Like, I can't even watch Poltergeist, man. Steven Spielberg made this movie, and I can't even watch this thing. And then it even ends with that little good music. La, la,
Yeah,
la.
it's
Like,
so nice.
oh, you just traumatized the hell out of me, and now you're going to have some, like,
Disney.
Smurf Disney-like
Yeah.
music. Like, oh, yeah, now go home and try to get over that psychologically.
And see, like now, like modern scary movies, I feel like, besides like your few remakes, like the new It and certain things, a lot of them are very realistic, which I think is where it comes a lot of this horrorness. Like me and him watched a movie called Sinister.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very plausible,
Mm-hmm.
and that movie freaked me the hell out.
I get that too. I mean, there'll probably be some time, maybe it'll be y'all's generation's kids that'll get back into it because it kind of skips a generation kind of thing, as it were, right? And it's like we just our generation, the directors at the time just oversaturated the market with slasher flicks.
Yeah.
It was like that's
And
all
the
there
comeback
was.
factor of it too, because we wanted to see them again. Even like I was joking, like it was completely unbelievable that Jason was coming back to life. But guess what?
There.
You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah! Oh, he's in space! Oh, what the hell? What the? But we kept wanting them. And y'all's generation was just like, nah, dude. If you get axed in the head, you're done. There is no like ritual that's gonna bring you back. But guess what y'all did? You know how they got like twisted on that kind of I don't know, supernatural movies like It Follows, where these kids are like getting STDs and it like kills you in some weird. I don't know if y'all have seen that movie, but It Follows is a very disturbing thing where essentially it's like some sort of STD demon. For those that's seen the movie, try to describe that in the comments. Y'all know it's hard to describe that movie, but it was like they did it with the old kind of stalking Michael Myers kind of vibe, like it was in that kind of neighborhood, Haddonfield, kind of a suburb kind of a neighborhood. But the killer was this unseen force. You know what I'm saying? And it was something that the modern kids really dug. You know what I'm saying? And maybe it's because of the post Blair Witch thing, which that movie had ushered in the whole. I forgot what the term is now. There was a term what they call those kind of movies like Paranormal Activity, where they had the camera
like the home film.
Yeah, the home film footage. But there was a certain name because they did there was a few movies out there that had that going on.
Cloverfield.
Yeah, Cloverfield was like that. I have that too,
like
and that was like a Godzilla-esque kind of thing. This monster from space or whatever. But yeah, that was really good. And then it was the Gunzo camera kind of effect or whatever. That was really working. But like with Paranormal Activity, what became difficult is capturing the events. Like the first one, it was like this narcissistic guy that just loved going around filming everything and himself and all this. I wouldn't say narcissistic. He wasn't so much filming himself, but he loved filming everything around and himself a little. but it made it plausible, like the events they were capturing in that movie. You know what I'm saying? And oh man, they did a great job in the first one.
yeah.
And then the second one, they figured, okay, to keep that kind of effect, the guy installs a security camera
Yeah.
and it catches everything. You know, but then the third one, I think they kind of did the same thing, and I think they had 4 or 5, and it just started kind of get to a point where it's just like, I mean, we live in a society where yes, people are kind of like doing this more, but not so much like just you don't record your entire day.
Yeah.
And it just became a little too, the guy will put his camera down just when him and his friends are talking in the bedroom. Like, no.
Yeah.
We don't do that. But
And why would you go through that and watch it again?
yeah, like, oh, yeah, I can't wait to see me and my friend hanging out talking about boring
It's
shit.
not
Like,
plausible
it wasn't,
anymore.
but they had to keep that motif, of the first, that camera angle and all that. So it kind of dried out. I think personally, right now there is room to do a slasher flick that hadn't been approached in a minute, like in a more modern way. Like they revisited like Jason with the new Friday the 13th.
Halloween
They redid Halloween. They revisited our generations, like what we grew up to, and brought it to y'all's time, and retold the stories in some cases pretty well. Like I love the prequel that they did with The Thing. It was like the first one was like what we grew up to it wasn't a remake, but they did a prequel of the events that led up to events that happened in the first one. And oh God, that's the best prequel I've ever seen, man, the new Thing. But it's just like, okay, that's great. But y'all need something new. Like, y'all's generation need to grow up and be like, have key characters. I think for y'all, like Scream is a key character.
Yeah.
Ghostface, I think is what they call that
Ghostface.
guy. Ghostface is key with y'all's generation. And I'm stumped after that. Like with our generation, I could easily be like, Freddy, Michael Myers, Chucky, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Pinhead,
I was just about to say
Hellraiser.
Pinhead.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, how could I have forgotten that?
No, I was actually about to mention that when you finished. Yeah.
Pinhead. But see how I just went on this
Hellraiser.
whole, and I mean, unless y'all can give me more names, I'm already stumped
'Cause
after
we had
Ghostface.
Avengers, you know what I'm saying? Like
Y'all had superheroes.
Yeah, and that was the big thing. And
Yeah.
Well,
That's
there
a good
are
point. You
lot
make
of-
a good point. Y'all grew up. It was 10 years worth of those Avengers
yeah,
movies.
started. Yeah.
There's a lot. Like I looked up modern slasher films, but there's not like
But standout names like
there's none that like stand out as like Hush is like similar to Ghostface, but they've
Okay.
only made one so far.
and okay, but he's not up there with Ghostface.
Yeah,
You
no.
know what I mean?
And you can only do the certain thing, like you
But I
have
would
to get
say-
creative with it. Like,
I would say if
motherfuckers
anything,
gotta like pull up with the chopper and just like spray folks down, like you
a
know what I'm saying?
modern-
Like,
The modern killer, you
Killer,
know what I'm
like-
saying? Drive-bys.
I would
Yeah.
say the most modern slasher film we have would be something very similar to The Purge.
ooh,
The Purge is another. Yeah, that's y'all stuff. The Purge is a new one. Now, if I'm not mistaken,
And like
that
The
movie's
Conjurings.
yeah, that movie premise was based on there was one day where they
One
let
day
everybody
where
just do
anybody
any
could
crime that they
yeah,
wanted.
Everything was legal.
Yeah.
Murder, anything,
Yeah, I'd be
steal.
going to
Well, the stealing
GameStop.
part would sound fun, right? But then, like the people that want to murder and rape and
Yeah,
kill,
no cap.
that's the part of it where it's like, oh gosh,
And it
so I
sound-
can only imagine. I've actually never seen them.
It's,
I haven't
yeah.
either. I've heard of them, but like
But I would love to see something like that because that has to be very maniacal,
You know,
for
the
letting
Walmart
us
just
society.
walking out with a
Imagine
TV.
letting this society right now go, hey man, y'all got one day to just let out all that frustration for being, trapped at home with
That's
the
the
COVID.
fucked up
I
part. Is
feel
people
like-
really think that shit would be cool, like
I
you
feel
know?
like
Because
a
they only
lot of
think about
people-
stealing.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of
Nah, I
people
think
would,
some people think that it would be cool to murder somebody until it like comes down to fucking doing it.
I don't
you
think
know?
a lot of people would murder. Everybody that I've asked, probably, granted that we're all my group is 20 years old. I've asked, well, what would you do if the Purge happened? It's like, oh, we're gonna go to GameStop and steal video games.
Well, see, yeah,
I mean, that's what I would do.
That's immediately, like I say, and grabbing, people doing quick dashes to like, get money out of cashier,
Yeah.
cashiers and stuff and everything like that. To where, but again, someone's gonna want to kill, like you
Yeah,
say. Someone
somebody's
gets
gonna
off
want
on
to,
the
yeah.
idea that, oh, today I could just go out there and kill, like,
Someone waiting at the GameStop eating Cheetos, and as soon as someone walks in, bop, bop, you know what I'm saying? Like, just for the fucking sake of doing it. Like,
purging society.
yeah, that's fucking, like, just the idea of the word purge is scary.
Y'all, you know what? We just left something out. Zombie movies.
Yeah,
Zombie movies. What's the one in black and white? The one that kind of gave birth to it all.
Dawn of the Dead?
Yeah. Because I want to make a point about that one. A brother survives at the end of that one, y'all. Y'all know, the funny thing. The black people always die first. Well, guess what? The original, like, zombie thing, or, that kind of opened it up. A brother survives at the end, and he actually takes command of an all-white group that's all, like, trapped in his house.
Yeah.
And he's like the dude, he actually even beats up a white dude. That one guy that's kind of like he's trying to flex his muscle, but the brother is kind of the one that's really organized him, and the other ladies are kind of listening to him, and the white guy's like, no, you kind of listen to me. And then they literally have a little scrap, and the brother beats him up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, who the alpha? I'm alpha, right? Okay, we got that done. Okay, so let's get back to me
He
organizing.
survived at the end, but they thought he was.
But they thought he was a zombie, so
Yeah.
it was great. And and it literally ends right there. Like after he gets shot in the head. I'm sorry, I think that came from me. It was a lint. Right when he gets shot, it starts like cutting to all these scenes with the cops coming to the house and this and that and the other. Like that movie was done fantastically, man.
Yeah, it was very.
How we
very
looking?
good.
20 minutes.
Oh, okay, good deal, good deal.
One thing I do want to say about, while we're on the topic of zombie films, is George A. Romero, the father, the director of Dawn of the Dead.
Yes, Romero.
They did, in Call of Duty Black Ops 1, they did a zombie map where George Romero was a boss, but they had all the, like, they had Robert Englund, who played Freddy Krueger.
Yes.
And a couple of other, Danny Trejo, who was in some sort of, like, Machete.
Yeah,
but it's kind of like
Machete,
a
yes.
slasher kind of
Yes,
thing. It's not
yes.
horror. But they had, like, horror people in this, along with George Romero, which I just kind of wanted to throw out there. I thought that
Oh, no, that's good. I'm glad because I stumped on the name. I was trying to remember what it was. Romero, yeah, man. He like is the Godfather. But then later on, they got real inventive with 28 days, and then 28 days later. Then I think it was 28 weeks later, literally,
Then
I
they
think,
did
right?
the spoof, Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead.
Really, I haven't seen that one.
That is hilarious. You should
Nah,
watch
yeah,
that.
I haven't seen that. I don't think I've even heard of
And
that.
it's funny, like, they predict the movie at the beginning. It's two dudes sitting at a bar, and they're like, and what if this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and then they walk out of the bar, and the zombie apocalypse happens, and everything they said would happen happens throughout the movie.
That's funny. I like zombie movies, man. Due to the fact that zombies don't really, it's like they just want to eat you or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I don't really get into them because of that. I mean, because it's like that's their motif, and I guess that's scary enough, right? But it's like, there's no motivation.
Do you remember that horror show that was kind of funny, where they used to eat brains? They would say
Yeah, brains. Actually, Sha, I think that was meant to be taken serious and scary, and people just laughed it off because it was so weird. But yeah, brains.
That was a real popular thing in the 80s.
It was like that was the specific part of the body that the zombies supposedly preferred. Because
Yeah.
it was kind of ironic because they walked around as these like mindless creatures. I mean, they held to eating brains, you know what I'm saying? Well, at least I think that particular one you're talking about. I think overall, because you can get zombied, as it were, get zombieism. If they bite you, then you get infected and you become one. At least I think that's the way 28 Days Later did it.
That's the way most of them do
I
it.
think
You
that's the
get
way,
bit.
it's an infection thing. But now, wasn't there one where the infection would take you over so much that it would kill you eventually? Like they would just die, wouldn't they?
There probably is, but I don't know.
Or maybe I'm
Maybe
thinking
World War
about
Z.
something else. Because, no, yeah, I'm thinking of something else. Because I was just thinking, it's this one scene. I don't know what movie it is. Maybe y'all can remember. You can hear this description. They caught one, and it was just sitting there and alive and stuff. And they kind of kept picking at it and stuff like that. And they were just, it kept like trying to gnaw at its own body and stuff like that. And I think they eventually killed it. Does that scene sound familiar to anybody?
Maybe it's
heard that.
maybe it's like I Am Legend.
Maybe so. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
That's a good movie. And it's not really horror.
Maybe it
but
was
I-
Will
It's
Smith had one of
really,
those
really
trapped.
good.
Maybe he trapped one of those zombies to
At
like
the
study
end,
it.
At the end, he trapped it because he found another person and they were going to study it.
Yeah, that girl with her son.
Yeah, but then that's the one weird thing about I Am Legend to me is there's two endings. I don't know.
I
Personally,
remember
which
the
one's-
one where that one kind of alpha zombie finally has that confrontation with him,
And then
he kind of like runs at him with a grenade or something and blows
There's-
the both of them up.
There's one
Right?
where it ends and they're in his lab and he breaks out of the glass and blows him up.
Yeah.
But then there's one where he leaves him there and he leaves with the girl and finds a settlement.
Ah.
I would like to believe that happened.
That would be happier.
You know, actually, that's a
happy,
remake from a movie from the '60s, a black and white movie. What was that guy's name? He was real famous back in the day. But that's
The I Am Legend.
Yeah, I Am Legend is actually.
You ain't
a
talking about
remake.
somebody like Sidney Poitier or something.
No. This is a white guy.
Uh-uh.
He was real famous back in the day.
Huh.
But yeah, that's a remake.
I did like I Am Legend.
I love Will Smith. He's the truth.
Will Smith is
Great actor.
kind of off topic.
Why? No, go ahead.
Have you ever seen Have you seen Gemini Man?
No, I
Will
haven't.
Smith.
I'm anticipating seeing that
That's a
though.
really good
one.
Yeah, I'm anticipating seeing that. I know it's out there now.
Oh look, I Am Legend 2.
Oh,
What?
Untitled I Am Legend reboot. Well, let me.
Interesting.
Oh wait, it says.
There's a scene that stands out in that movie to me. Y'all remember that scene where it was like, he would go around and he had like mannequins standing around the
Mannequins,
city.
yeah.
But there was this really sad scene where he goes into a
the
store.
Omega Man. No, I'm sorry. Charlton Heston.
Uh,
Okay.
but he goes into the store and he starts talking to this one mannequin and he's all like, talk to me,
The
please.
Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Blockbuster.
he's just like, and it's like, because that scene really, it's like we really need each other as a human
Yeah.
species.
Yeah.
That engagement, we're a social, species as a collective, and
Oh.
that scene really to me emoted that because it's like, look at how desperate he was to want to pretend like there were people out there. He named various mannequins out around the city, but
Didn't
he,
he-
Tom or whatever.
That one time where
Wilson.
he's
Wilson Ball, yep.
where he I Am Legend, he's driving down the road and all of a sudden he sees the mannequin on the street. And he gets out of the car because they're evolving and they move the mannequin to try to get him.
That's right.
And then right after that, he has to kill his dog.
Oof, that
Yeah,
was
because the
sad.
dog got caught up. Yeah, that's right. Wasn't that the one where he gets caught up in one of his own traps and he's up
Yeah.
there for like hours and then he finally wakes up, and he's dangling and yeah, I think it's that scene.
Yep.
Oh God, I think I had that movie. It makes me want to watch it tonight.
Yeah, I mixed my movies up. It's The Last Man on Earth with Vincent Price. That's the one I've seen.
They
and-
made a new show about that.
Really?
Yeah, it's oh man, I can't think of his name now. He's a comedian guy, but they did remake the show. I'll send you a link to it.
That reminds me
Yeah,
of.
it's a
Oh
good
no,
one,
that's a different
too.
title. I'm thinking of The Earth Stood Still with Keanu Reeves,
Oh,
but it was a
yeah.
remake from the past. I like that one too.
So like last serial killer episode, we was talking about the dog, the son of Sam.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever seen
David
Wilfred?
Berkowitz.
Wilfred, Wilfred is like a
It's a-
funny movie. Though.
I know, but
Or
it's just
a funny
like
TV
the
show.
dog is like talking to him and like he helps him with relationship problems and
Look,
shit.
he
That's
smokes-
just
he
hilarious. I
smokes
wanted to mention
weed
it last
out
time.
of
It just
a,
popped in my head.
I should have
Like a
gave that
beer
dog to
bottle.
David Berkowitz. Shit.
Right.
Oh man.
I know this is what happens. Like, if we were, we're trying to put this out there for our show. I bet you if we were in casual conversation, like without knowing that we're recording this, we were thinking
is-
so much more.
yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
Yeah,
but
I feel-
have we
I feel
covered?
we
Y'all,
killed
y'all,
it.
y'all think we've
Yeah,
covered
man.
kind of the core?
I feel like
I
this
was-
is really how a normal if y'all don't believe this is this is how a normal conversation between us four would actually go.
Yeah. This is not contrived, by the way. Yeah, but I'm saying like sometimes we get stumped.
This is like we just put the camera up and started talking with our friends.
Yeah,
Like
that's
what I'm saying,
essentially what this
Poltergeist, or
is.
What's it called? Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
We're gonna get this man over Poltergeist, y'all, because that the original Poltergeist is what I'm
Yeah,
assuming,
yes,
right? Because
yes.
that remake, well,
Nah.
I'm
the
sorry,
remake was not-
remake of that, remake of Omen, remake of Psycho. I think they try to do it like exactly scene for scene with like
Okay.
those movies.
That's what I was going to talk about. We got to talk about Alfred Hitchcock if we're going to talk about horror movies.
Doop,
Birds,
the birds. Yeah, I
don't even know who that is. I've heard
Yeah, I'm
the
actually
name.
doing his theme music in the shadow.
He's the guy who
He
Psycho.
he directed Psycho, and guess what? To kind of break it to your serial killer thing, that was inspired by Ed Gein, who did shit like that for real, wore his mom's clothes and kill people and had trophies where he saved
Did you
dead
ever
bodies and
watch
stuff.
the prequel show Bates Motel?
I heard of that. I never seen it though.
pretty
Yeah,
good.
yeah. I would like that. I think me and you both was like more of a fan of the psychological kind of like divulsion. You know what I'm saying, of the character, like just like how you would just see them just psychologically get crazier and crazier
Yeah.
throughout the film, kind of thing. I think that was the allure of Hannibal Lecter.
And
It's
The
just like,
Shining.
and The Shining. Now, The Shining definitely is more like that, where he goes there a regular guy, he's a little stressed, but he wants to write a book. Finally get into his thing, he gets his family, but they have this enormous overlook hotel to to overlook. You know what I'm saying? Like the entire, what was it, like 3-4 months, like the
Yeah.
whole winter
I
season.
think crazy characters can be scary.
And him at the end. Let me show y'all how young I am for the boomers out there that may watch this. Y'all will laugh at this one. But you know that famous scene where he says, here's Johnny, and that was a playoff of Johnny Carson. How about when I first saw Johnny Carson, I thought Johnny saw that movie and took it from him, or Ed McMahon did it. Yeah, here's Johnny, and the first time I saw that, I'm like, oh, from The Shining.
Yo,
And it's like, no, dumbass. They were actually mocking the Tonight Show that goes back to the 60s, you dumbass. Oh, I was a kid. I didn't know. Like,
yo, that's awesome that you bring that up because like I've had so many of those moments. Like, I hear a rap song and then I hear like, oh, Nas did that first? No fucking way. You know,
terms and stuff in particular for me, a lot of people may not admit this sometimes, but I admit it. The first time I heard the term quid pro quo was in Silence of the Lambs when Hannibal Lecter said it. Quid pro quo, yes or no, Clarice. Yeah. And I'm like, what is this term? And a couple other terms that, I hear them for the first time sometimes in a movie, and I'd be like, oh, that's kind of cool. In Shawshank Redemption, the first time I heard the word obtuse was when Robin Harris, that's the comedian, Tim Robbins rather, his character mentions, says this to the warden. He's like, why are you being obtuse? And the warden got really offended because I don't think he knew what the word meant. You know what I'm saying? And I thought it was a cool word, and I've actually used that word plenty of times since then. Did
y'all not learn about obtuse
angles?
But
I'm saying as a phrase and stuff, because when you're saying obtuse, you're saying more or less like a person's got their head in the sand.
Yeah. I was just wondering if that was some new shit they started teaching, like, because I've always wondered, like, because, like, when my dad would help me with my homework, it would be like, he would always say, this is some new shit. We didn't learn this when I was in school. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, man, the way you guys learned, well, I don't know about maybe y'all, but maybe y'all saw remnants of it, the new math, as they call it. Yeah. Like, I saw the way you guys come up with answers for division, and it was like, oh, man, what happened to the remainder thing and the other stuff we used to do? Like, yeah, but there's some stuff going on now.
They do it like in melodies.
Yeah, and it's weird because they do some other problems off to the side that coincide. Like, okay, multiplication. You realize it's times, this times this times this times this, right? Yeah. Well, they had some kid that was being taught multiplication, and he was being taught the long way. Like, it was like 6 times 6, and then at the bottom it was like 6 plus 6 plus 6. And it was like, whoa, like, that's it's actually, I have to say, the way I memorized all my turntables. I memorized my times tables in 3rd grade, 2 through 12, because 1 ain't fair to say 1, you know what I'm saying? But 2 through 12, and it was memorizing it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? 9 times 9 is 81. He had like little melodies and stuff.
You understood that each one was like, okay, it's 6 times.
You didn't. Yeah, 12 times 12 is 144, I believe. I was not going to sit there and go 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus, you know what I'm saying?
They do that now because at least, because I had to memorize my times tables in 3rd grade as well. Yeah. But when my teacher first taught it, she was like, the very first time she had explained like times tables is like, this is what it's saying. So you're taking 3 times 2. You're taking 3 2 times.
Exactly. It's explained what it is. That
that's
same
why they do
here.
It the long way.
Right. And
but
it was
I don't
a
see
shorthand.
Why kids still
man, I think it's the way they're being shown because again, it's just, I don't know why, and there's some other aspects to it, but it convolutes it. It makes it kind of more challenging for the kid to get the answer.
But see, then it's funny to think back. I know this is way off topic. It's funny to think back to 3rd grade to now, where you're like, oh yeah, 6 times 6, and that's all you know. But now you don't call it 6 times 6; you call it 6 squared.
Right. Exactly. We had the ones that were like fun, like the 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and the 5s. We actually had a song that we grew up with in Schoolhouse Rock, where they did it by that 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You remember that song, Sean? It was like a Schoolhouse Rock song. You probably don't remember. I was like real young when the song was out there, but at any rate, it was like the ones where it was easy to kind of remember if you could just pair it up with the numbers. For me, it would get challenging, with the 6 and 7s, 8s, and you really had to remember, what's 8 times 7 again? And it's 64, 40, 30, blah, blah, blah.
36.
I'll throw a random one out there, y'all. 6 times 7.
42.
Oh, nice. 9 times 8.
81.
No.
No, that's 9 times 9. 72, yeah. Yeah, I'm a little rusty too, so maybe I should
See,
stop
like,
now.
all right, when I was in school,
Can I get some of the water?
I I was a cheater. Like, just to be honest, like I cheated on every fucking thing, you know. But like when I started like doing math outside of school, I got way better at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I hated school. I hated the fact that you
Probably in real time, doing it in real time helped you.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
want to say something, and then I'm gonna bring it to rapid fire. Is in school, don't be afraid to count on your hands.
Oh,
Oh man, they used to like really check you back in the day with that when we were young. So people would put their hands under the table,
you
But yeah, don't be afraid
Don't
to do
be-
that,
yeah,
man.
nobody
Because
is
you're
gonna
figuring
look-
it out.
Yeah, nobody's gonna look bad at you for like counting on your fingers, because sometimes you have to do that.
And just like for people that like have to literally point while they read, and people get like picked on for that. It's like,
Or
hey man,
sound out
sometimes
words.
Yo,
they
and
sound them out and things like this.
it's like, why do we pick on people for like, you know, trying? You know what I'm
Kids,
saying?
man.
Right.
It's immaturity.
It
That's
is.
all that is. That will forever be there. But let me say something real quick before rapid fire. We're talking about school. It makes me think of a Nightmare on Elm Street scene where Nancy, I believe, falls asleep in the classroom. It's a real pivotal scene. She comes out and some spirit dragging this girl like in a body bag in the hallway and stuff. And it goes to the other direction and she goes follows. But at any rate, there you go.
So
Oh, shit.
for rapid fire, I actually got some spooky themed questions this week. So starting with Shy, I'll ask, who is your favorite fictional serial killer? Which we kind of answered last week, but
Fictional. Oh gosh, I just don't know right now.
Well, you said Fred Krueger, I think, one time, right?
Yeah, I guess he.
But is he really your favorite?
I'll just say Fred.
Oh,
Unless
Freddie.
something comes up better while we're here.
you're not Jimmy down. Come on.
Well, now I have to say, I've always went to Jason and everything, but as I got older, it depends on in the mood, because sometimes I like Pinhead a lot, from Hellraiser and stuff. I like that guy from Wishmaster, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. But I guess at the end of the day, Jason Voorhees rules for me.
I would say the Joker.
The Joker.
Yeah, I like the Joker. He's cool. He's just kind of like, I don't know. It's like,
He is a killer of sorts. I mean,
yeah, like he just, I don't know. The way, especially with the way like he killed dude in the new movie, like that was just like,
that was shocking.
I didn't think he
that
had it
was
in him.
so great.
You
I
know?
love that scene where you get what you deserve. Boom.
I mean, that was shocking, and you kind of feel the tension coming up.
Yeah.
And they've even literally made posters. You ever seen that poster where they catch him from like right here?
Mm-hmm.
It's in that moment where he's like saying like, "Yeah, you're one of the people that hurt me," or something to this effect. When he's like going through this description of people like judging, and then he talked about dude judging him too, and why. I mean, busted the guy out on TV. He literally had him on the show to belittle him.
Yeah.
By the way, Shy, I still have it in the wrapper. I have to break that and watch it, because when you gave me that, I started working on the movie over the last 3 months. So it's just sitting
You'll
there.
get to it.
But oh my God, it's still my favorite movie. I'm kind of like Scooby. As far as movies go, The Joker's like my favorite modern movie right now. I mean, jeez.
Yeah, it's
But at any rate, let's give it to Mac.
Relatable. Ironically.
Fictional serial killer, Hannibal the Cannibal Lecter.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
But I'm also there with like Dracula. I love Dracula.
Bruh, take it away. I forgot about Dracula. Oh, we forgot about all the classic guys. Maybe
Like
we'll do that.
Frankenstein.
Yeah,
Another
Frankenstein,
episode.
Mummy, another episode. Just classic ones. I hate the Mummy, though. Ooh, Mummy, get out of here.
Do you believe in any mythical monsters like vampires? Or this gives me an example of chupacabras.
Oh, good, good.
I like to think Bigfoot is around somewhere.
You know what? I'm with Shy when it comes to if there's a possibility of mythical creatures. Like, I don't think there's unicorns. I don't think there's wizards. I wonder about witches and warlocks as far as the power of that. But yeah, Bigfoot. I think Bigfoot is out there.
I'm gonna go with like the Loch Ness monster.
Ooh.
I feel like he's cooling, you know.
Oh, Nessie, huh?
Yeah,
You think
Nessie.
Nessie's wow, that's a curious that I hadn't heard that one in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ghosts.
Ghosts.
the possibility of zombies. I don't ever want to see it, but that is a possibility.
I heard, I don't know if it's a conspiracy theory, but I heard that Homeland Security has a contingency plan for a zombie apocalypse.
That's fucking nuts.
I heard
don't
that
know.
for an alien invasion too.
Yeah, I can imagine the alien one in particular, but the zombie one is more like, so what are y'all telling us, that y'all are doing things with, genetics that you see the possibility of us becoming zombies, so let's have a contingency plan set? We're watching you, government, because you're watching us.
Facts.
That phone probably is watching us right now.
Shit, I enjoy being watched. I hope that like they get good.
Yeah, it's good. I enjoy being watched.
I mean, shit, I just be cooling.
Bill,
Like,
you said the phone is watching us. It definitely is.
Indeed.
For the last question, would you rather get bitten by a vampire or a zombie?
Vampire.
Vampire.
That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Vampire, indeed. All
But a
day.
girl vampire though, for sure.
Well, yeah, because the intimacy factor, I want some dudes something
want
Well,
some,
like
you
that
know,
personally.
Belle,
supposedly if
Twilight.
you get bitten, you're connected to that vampire. So yeah, you might want to.
Facts though, right? It's like, if we're gonna do vampires, like I'm going full Twilight. You know what I'm saying?
But what if your homeboys accidentally bites you? Like, he really was thirsty and then he bites you and then you wake up and you're symbiotically connected to him for eternity, man.
Like
And
Brad
then-
Pitt and.
Yeah, and then you feel some type of way.
I'm gonna be hot, bro. Like we gonna have a combo, bro.
You gonna be
Like,
hot for eternity though,
Yeah, like,
Scoob.
that's what I'm saying. We're gonna fight almost every day. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to see the ones. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, every day. For sure. It's like I could have a lifelong with a female. a
Scoob,
woman
like, you gotta
vampire.
buy me dinner first, man. You can't be just
Oh,
making me
God.
fall in love with you with this damn vampire virus.
Right? Nah, yo.
So is that it?
That's my last question. Yep.
Oh, yo. Look, this has been another great episode of Bridging the Gap horror movies with Bill Shy, Scooby, and Mac. I hope you've enjoyed this one, and we got more coming to you and everything. And yeah, we just pretty much touched on all our favorite horror movies here, and we hope that you've enjoyed this episode.
And if you're not too spooked out, make sure you get tuned in and tapped into all the social medias. That was a good one, right?
Yes.
I had to, because he left. All the social medias, I'm at Scooby the Kid 252, at Chef Mac 1523, at OsoShy11, and at Bill_Perry. And I said and twice, Bridge the Gap 77.
And look I think at the Bridge Gap one, find like Poltergeist, the link of it, send it to
Send it to
Scoob.
him.
Send it to Scoob and
Also,
everything.
tweet hate mail at him. He knocked Jimmy down from the spider web.
Oh. What's going on here? Oh, hey, you just woke up, Gary. You just missed an entire episode. Really? I'm going to sleep. All right, go back to bed, baby. All right, y'all, into the next one.
What is up, everybody? It's me, Chef Mac 1523, up at the end of the episode, and I just wanted to say I hope y'all enjoyed this one. I hope the intro got a few people, just kind of like made them jump a little bit. I couldn't put all the normal like effect kind of jump ups like I really wanted to, so I improvised, got some spooky music, and did it the old-fashioned way with literally just the text box. So I hope y'all enjoyed that. And I'm not going to be able to put up, but make sure you leave a like, make sure you comment. I don't know if we set a contest in this episode, but if we didn't, contest what's your favorite horror movie. Just, what is it? We'd love to know. And make sure you subscribe and ding on that notification bell so that you can get notified every time we go live. No, we may go live soon. I don't know, or I may. I don't know. I'll do something. But every time we upload. So I'll see you guys next Wednesday. Look forward to that. Mark it 9:15 on Wednesdays. Next Wednesday, the Halloween episode, the 28th. You're going to love it.